Hello and welcome to Rooted Spirit Massage Therapy. My name is Amanda, and I wanted to take a moment to create this video in talking specifically about Arvigo Abdominal Therapy. I feel that this is something that is very near and dear to my heart. I think it has changed how I move and function in my health and wellness. And I feel the best way to provide this information is going to be through a video versus me just typing anything out and people reading about it. I hope it can be very inspirational for others to be able to, think about it and maybe potentially be a part of this as well. So I'm going to kind of go over the backstory, like I said, and it's going to be about how I got into abdominal therapy, how I got into specifically Arvigo, what it's been like for me, and what I hope for others. So let's get started. So I was still in massage school when I was first introduced to abdominal therapy, and I remember specifically it was a Saturday afternoon. My teacher wanted to go over some techniques for the abdomen, and luckily for me, I got to be a part of the demo. I remember lying on the table and I was fully clothed. These techniques were very light and intentional and intuitive. It was such a different experience compared to receiving a traditional massage. Like during a traditional massage, I feel like I could fall asleep, right? Because it would be relaxing through the Swedish techniques. I could feel it within my muscles, right? Because it's, through trigger point or deep tissue. It was just very outer layer level, maybe. But this abdominal techniques, although they were super simple and light, it felt like it went deeper than my muscles. It went down to like cellular level. And it felt like I was on airplane mode to where I was present, but also being recharged. And I kind of connect this to like Dragon Ball Z or something. When the little characters are powering up, that's what it felt like, but to the little cells and people, I think of them as people in my body that function and do like hard work. And it felt like they were getting a break, but also being rebooted. After the class, I felt so confident and proud, and I could probably take on anything that day and accomplish it at my best. So it led me to wondering, how is it that this particular area that I think many of us can become very self-conscious of, and me included, because it's a place that we probably don't pay attention to, maybe we don't pay attention to, and we're very self-conscious and guarding of, right? Maybe I don't have a six-pack and a bunch of abs. Maybe it has scar tissue and adhesions from surgery, that maybe there's stretch marks, right? We become very protective of this area of our body, and again, me included. But how is it that these simple, light techniques can change how I feel, and not like in a relaxation state, but in an overpowering confident state? So it led me to a bunch of questions. And luckily, too, as well, that we had to do a presentation to our classmates about a modality that we were interested in. So I automatically knew from this moment, which I think is a huge moment for me, to know that I wanted something with the abdomen. Like whatever practice or wherever I was at, I wanted the abdominal area to be a part of it. So I had done my research and I came across Arvigo Abdominal Therapy, and I found it interesting on multiple levels. So First of all, I found it interesting on an educational level, right? Learning about the different systems of the body, how it can help with our digestive tract, how it can help with our reproductive tract, and just the knowledge and education that was behind it interested me because I like to learn and I like to know what's going on, and especially knowing what's going on within myself. Something that also interested me and drove me towards that modality was on a personal level. I had family, all the women on my mother's side had a hysterectomy before the age of 40, and my mother included, due to fibroids, irregular menstruations, heavy bleeding during their menstruation. And I remember all the troubles and difficulties that she went through when she was going through this before they gave her the hysterectomy. And I thought, man, like, I really kind of don't want that for myself. I remember her struggles. The third thing that I thought like really pushed me over the edge was the fact that I would learn these techniques and I would be able to implement them and do them for myself, right? I didn't have to go to someone on a frequent basis to be able to receive these benefits. I could make this and alter it to what works for me and make it personalized and be a part of the journey. So I was going in that direction. I found out their class schedule. I had my license within 6 months and I was already up in Wisconsin taking a self-care course. And during that course, I was there kind of thinking like, oh man, I really want to learn more. I want to learn more. Teach me as much as you could teach me because I want to learn, and then I want to be able to pass on as much information to others as possible. So it was amazing learning, again, like the functions of the different organs within our body, learning about the function of the uterus, right? And building that connection there and knowledge there. It was interesting to learn the techniques. And while I was working on myself with the techniques, you notice tension spots and you notice how it feels, right? Maybe we don't rub our belly enough besides when it's full after Thanksgiving dinner, but like it was very interesting to learn the techniques and to know how it's connecting to the organs and everything inside and within our pelvis. I would learn though another part, and this is like a second time that this is something that would reach me in a more personal level and really change how I thought about things. So at one particular point, we had gone through a meditation for the uterus, and I remember lying there and she was going through her different, meditation sentences that she had to say. There was one particular moment that something got brought up that I did not realize was something that I was maybe still holding on to, or some emotion or something that was there. I instantly felt myself lock up, and I was instantly holding my breath. I was no longer taking any kind of breathing. I was holding my breath with so much tension. I remember laying there as well thinking, I really hope that nobody else in this room can tell that I'm going through something right now. And I would learn about body armoring, and I would learn about how even our tissue holds memory and emotion, right? It's much more than just a mental thought or things that we thought of, we think we got through it, and then it's done and over. This is something that dives way deeper, and it stays there. This is a moment that I think I really learned to separate myself mentally from physically, and being able to look at myself and say, what do you need from me today? How can I help you? How can I be of a friend to you? Right? It's no longer just, I mentally push it away. It's there. tissue holds memory and tissue holds emotion. So I've learned to be able to take a moment and to connect with that part of myself. And this was huge to me because I wanted to learn things, like on a physical level of what my organs and everything is doing, all the squishing and squeezing and building and breaking down and information passing and just how much work it does. But then I did learn an emotional attachment to that as well. And this no longer became teach me all that you know so that way I can go help others, but it became teach me all that there is so that way I can help myself first, and then I can be able to express this to others. So that class was an amazing class, and I cannot express enough what that class meant to me. So afterwards, I go home. I spend 2 months probably doing the techniques at least 5 times a week. And I notice that my digestive system is going great, right? I'm having very good bowel movements. I'm having a bowel movement at least twice a day. My menstruation was great. I mean, I didn't have any bloating. I didn't have any cramping. It just kind of came and it kind of left. My energy level was great. I can't say that anything really brought me down and kept me down. I was able to just enjoy everything. So it's one thing to do the work and to notice the benefits, but I think it's another thing to really test it out. So I said, all right, things are going great. Everything is really well. Now I got to test it. And so I decided to take a month off from doing any abdominal work at all and see how my digestive system would be, see how my energy level would be, and also, most importantly, see how my menstruation cycle would be. And I noticed that my bowel movements started plummeting. Like I felt very full and like things were stuck inside there. I felt pretty gross after any time I ate. My energy level was down. I didn't kind of want to get up sometimes in the morning. I was just too sleepy and too tired. My menstruation that month was the worst I have ever had. And it was probably worse than even before learning the techniques. It was really bad. Very bad back pain, very bad bloating. I felt like everybody could point me out and could tell that I was not doing well. So I said, okay, I'm not going to do this another month. I can't. So the next month after that cycle, I went right back to doing abdominal therapy. And I noticed the month after, it was great. That next cycle was great. My digestion was coming back. My energy was coming back. I was becoming connected again to my body. Things were going good. So me being curious, not just to do it once, but to do it twice, I decided to not do it for another month and to see what that cycle would be like again and how my energy again would be and how my digestive system would be. And I remember going through that last month thinking, wow, like you know what you need to do to be able to help yourself, but you're not doing it to test it out. And this really sucks because I don't feel good at all. And it showed again in my next menstrual cycle. It was very heavy. I had a lot of cramps. I had a lot of back pain. And so I said, okay, I can for sure be confident in these techniques and this modality and how I want to be able to present it to others because I have to experience this for myself. So I am now continuously doing it. I think this is something that it does take work, but I think it's of value, right? I think that It's something you build in as if you were to go to the gym. It's something that you stay very consistent and mindful of. And it's all about creating circulation and balance, right? When there's congestion within anywhere, whether it be tissue or our gut or our pelvis, right? There's gonna be lack of blood flow. There's gonna be lack of circulation. It cannot get the connection of what it needs from anywhere else within the body. So this is all really honed down to just creating circulation and space within the abdomen and in the pelvis. That's what really keeps, I think, everything functional, is this space and this fluidity, right? And not just based off of our anatomy and our organs and tissue, but even energetically, when we feel balance and we feel connected, we can really notice when something is off. Maybe we say, oh, I ate this and that is not settling well, right? And we can even not just know that we ate it and it doesn't feel well because we feel it within our gut, or we see it later with whatever happens with it, but we see it on a level of just noticing, don't eat that again. Your body tells you, don't do this again, or I need this. It is really building that friendship and connection within our abdomen. So again, I appreciate every moment that I went through with this experience. I appreciated going to school and having an instructor who decided to talk about abdominal therapy and talk about the importance of it. I appreciated going through, my experience with the self-care course and learning the educational aspect and learning how everything functions, and then having an eye-opening experience about our emotion and connection to our organs. And I much so appreciate the moment of testing it out for myself, so that way I could be able to share this information with others and say, hey, I really did try this. I really did experience it, and I experimented with it. So I'm not saying this is a cure-all. I'm not saying it's going to work 100% for everybody. I'm only sharing my personal experience and my personal story. But I hope this sparks a little bit of interest, and I hope it sparks a little bit of some questions, right? Because it's something that's worth a try. And maybe there's other modalities or other things that need to be implemented to be able to get you to where you want or where you need. But I think there's huge value to carrying yourself with a connection to your body, and not just, oh, I want it to look fit or I want it to feel well, but I want to be super supportive of the things that it's doing and that it needs. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. You can either, give me a call, you can send me an email, we can set up a Zoom, we can set up a phone call to where we can be able to answer any further questions or concerns that you have. So I hope to hear from anyone soon, and I hope this really was of some interest and knowledge. Thank you so much for listening. And again, I hope to hear from you guys soon. Thank you.